Now, this man is responsible for something which happened to me. He put me on this stage and asked me to do something specific. Ben, I need you to punch somebody. And that was my introduction to theater. In preparing for this Pecha Kucha presentation, he has discovered that he actually likes to tell a good story. Some people call him Director Matt, but we all know him as the one and only Matt Newman. Please put your hands together for Matt Newman.
Thanks, Ben. All right. Lights, camera, action! Ever wonder what it takes to take a script and put it on the stage here? Or maybe your favorite book. Your favorite book gets turned into a movie. Ever wonder how that happens? I want to share with you an experience that I went through last year putting a script on this very stage. And it wasn't sitting in this chair yelling through a megaphone. Now, the first thing I had to do was pick a script. So I read numerous scripts, dozens of scripts, and we shortlisted 4. All comedies, all 2 acts. Now, for me, the most important part and deciding factor was the number of people involved. I wanted as many people involved as I could, so I picked a script with 7 couples, 14 people, and it was called What is Susan's Secret? The next thing I had to do was pick a cast. There was lots of people wanting to get in on this act. But I wanted to see what local talent was out there. So I auditioned locally. I had 34 women and 10 men audition for 14 roles. It was not an easy decision. I had a director say that choosing a cast is kind of like making your bed. You better do it right because you're going to have to lie in it from that point on. So this was not a very easy decision for me. I made the calls, I chose my cast, I made my bed. And there they are. The 14 choices and myself, ready to embark on this grand adventure we called community theater. Some of them had lots of experience, like Kelly and Joel and Dennis. Some, this was going to be the first time they were ever on stage. Okay? So it was a grand adventure we were embarking on. Now, the next thing I had to do was find my right-hand man, or as it turned out to be a woman. Now, this person in theater is called the stage manager, and they're responsible for, well, everything. Absolutely everything, right from making the cast members comfortable at rehearsals to finally calling the show, and she was calling the show there. Now, the first thing we did was had our first read-through. Now, this is the first time many of these people got to meet each other, and for me, it was a blast because I mentioned I had 7 couples. I get to introduce husbands to wives and wives to husbands. That was pretty cool. 7 times, okay? At the rehearsal, the first rehearsal, this is the first time I get a chance to show my vision. As I read the scripts, I had a picture in my mind what it was going to look like. And unfortunately, I had a shark in mind and they had a goldfish in mind. But the cool thing was collaboratively we came together and we ended up with a goldfish, right? It was cool. Next thing was rehearsals. Now, for those of you that don't know, the rule of thumb is we spend an hour in rehearsal for every minute on stage. So you guys do the math. That was a 2-hour play that we put on there. That's a lot of time we have to organize and spend together. And this is where Carmen really shone with her colored markers, because she kept us all organized. The next thing we did, or one of the things we did at rehearsal, was blocking. So blocking is basically directions during the text. Don't do that. Going downstage right. Okay, that's the blocking. So with 7 doors and 14 people coming and going, we had to do a lot of blocking there. The next thing was character building. And I don't mean like Calvin and his father here. We didn't go out and shovel the snow. With 7 couples, we had to figure out, okay, when did you meet? How long have you been married? How many children do you have? Because all of those things contribute to how you act on the stage. So that's what we call character building, and that's the backstory that they all have. Now, what else do we do at rehearsals? Well, to be perfectly honest, we play a lot of games. We did. We played Ho Ho Hiya. We played Zip Zap Zop. And my favorite, Bad Babysitter. You'll have to ask me about that one later. Okay? Now, sometimes we do that to warm up the voice, sometimes for the body, sometimes for the mind, but always it's to do this. It's to build trust. So the thing about theater is you have to have trust. The audience trusts that we're going to put on a good show. The cast members trust me to not make them look like a fool on stage, and most importantly, the cast members have to trust each other. Now, unfortunately, about 3/4 of the way through the rehearsal process, I make them cry. I take their scripts away. It's called off book. They no longer have that security blanket. You have to memorize your lines. And for them, it's a scary moment. For me, that's when the magic happens. That's when you don't have to worry about reading the script. You can listen and react. Don't do that becomes, don't do that! It's amazing. The growth is exponential. You see the lights of understanding come on. Oh, I understand why I'm saying that. Okay? So that, to me, is the magic of theater. Now comes the curtain rising. That long date that we looked at 3 months ago has finally arrived, and now the curtain has to rise. And for me, that is the moment I am most nervous. I sit way at the very back watching. I am no longer in control. It's like that mother bird that throws their baby bird out of the nest and goes, fly, fly. And you know what? They did. They soared. They did absolutely amazing. And when the crowd shows their applause and their appreciation for what they do, that's when I feel that sense of pride. That's why I direct. Now, one of the cast members asked me to put on this presentation. She said, Matt, as a director, you brought out the light in all of us strangers. And to me, I thought that was kind of cool. I kind of think of it like a campfire. I was the kindling that started that fire, and all of them added their fire until we got a great big fire that invited everyone in. Okay? Friends and families to join in memories. Now, as a show of hands, how many here have seen the movie Lilo and Stitch? Excellent. And Lilo says one word. That word is Ohana. Excellent. Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind and forgotten, right? Well, we have a similar term in theater. It's called ensemble. And that was our ensemble. 15 amazing people I got to spend a journey on last fall.
Director Matt, everybody.